Hello class, welcome to Criminology. And I know we already watched, hopefully most of you already watched the introductory video, What is Criminology, Chapter 1. I'm doing another one right now and hopefully you'll get to see it before we have class on Friday, because normally when we do this class in a strict lecture format, I try to do the first two chapters in the first week because there's really more chapters and more information that needs to be covered than we have time for in the 12 weeks of the class. Because obviously week 12 is your final exam, which covers all the chapters in the book. When we meet on Friday. One of the things I'm going to show you is a really cool thing, is that there is a website that goes along with the textbook. And your textbook is an ebook, but mine is this cool one right here. And but there's a website that goes along with it, which is going to be extremely helpful for you with the quizzes. This course requires a quiz every week. You won't have one in the first week, although my idea for quizzes is to have you view the lecture and then do the quiz as soon as we come to class for that week, so that I know that you've watched the material, you've read the book, you know, that kind of thing. So we'll probably start that in week 2, and my first quiz, because I already have all the quizzes done, unless I were to rewrite the quiz. My first quiz actually covers chapters 1, 2, and 3, and then after that we go on to a chapter a week, and I will review the quiz, make sure the questions address things that we covered in the lecture, of course, but you know, you shouldn't just rely strictly on the lecture. You ought to be looking at your ebook, which hopefully you've already tried to access. I know at least one person contacted me with a little trouble. You should be able to access them now. If you haven't yet, please get a hold of me. I think she was trying to get a hold of it over the weekend, and maybe students weren't connected yet. I don't know. I had access to mine. But anyway, I'm going to be stitching with this a lecture on Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is about the patterns of crime. So we're going to be talking about crime statistics, how crime statistics were developed, when we started looking at crime statistics. We're looking at 2 major measures of crime that are used in the United States today, and they are the UCR and NIBRS. UCR standing for Uniform Crime Report, NIBRS standing for National Incident-Based Reporting System. You all should be familiar with that because it was one of the things that was covered in an entire chapter in intro, and I know, at least in my class, when I teach it, I do an assignment that has you looking up your own personal crime data from your community. So you all should be familiar with that. So this gets into it a little bit more detail, but the Chapter 2 in this particular course is very similar to the chapter on crime data in the intro class. The second major measure of crime, if anybody does not remember, I'm sure you all do. Tell me, what is it? Oops, I can't hear you because it's not live. But it's the NCVS, which is the National Crime Victimization Survey, which, as you may recall, is a survey done by the Census Bureau in conjunction with the Bureau of Justice Statistics that actually calls a whole lot of households and interviews anybody who's over the age of 12 about crimes. And remember, the NCVS only covers crimes that happen to persons. It doesn't cover crimes that happen to corporations, and it doesn't cover homicide because it talks to live people about crimes that have occurred to them. So we're going to have a discussion question, and it's already posted, but I haven't invited any of you to the discussion question. It's actually listed as week 2. I'm going to probably change it to week 1B or something like that, so that you can actually do it this week. I'm really excited about the participation so far in the discussions. I know it's something new for many of you. You could, if you're here for another class, just tap into it and do it here on campus if you can't get it at home. But apparently the Edmodo is working really good for a lot of you because you're already downloading. There's an Edmodo app, so you can use it on your phone. You can use it on whatever. But the web-based one is probably the one that has the most options. So I would strongly consider using the web-based version. So I'm going to transition now to the slideshow, which is based upon Chapter 2, Patterns of Crime. So you won't see my pretty face anymore because I haven't upgraded myself to the tool where I can do both at the same time. But that's my next goal in this learning process for me in doing this virtual kind of education thing, and for our class being a hybrid. So see you at the tail end, because I'll do a closing that I'll attach at the end of this.